The sexy woman walks through the dimly lit hotel corridor. She knocks on the door of the reserved guest. However, the person waiting for her was a gray-haired old man. This makes her frown scene in place. But the moment the old man sees Isabel, it's as if he's been given a treasure. To ease her nerves, Roger handed her a glass of water. After their brief and simple acquaintance, Roger couldn't wait to communicate more. He stroked Isabel's cheek. Then he gently lays Isabel down on the bed. After they finish their sexual encounter, Roger smokes a cigarette and continues to admire the beautiful woman wrapped in her bathrobe. He looks as if he can't get enough. As Isabel takes the money and prepares to leave the hotel, Roger hoped to see her again. This must be a story that many people can understand, but definitely a story to ponder. Isabel is not even 17 years old. She lives in a seemingly happy home. Her parents divorced when she was 7 years old. Her mother took her and remarried her to another man. The fragmentation of her family and the absence of her father's love have turned her into an extremely distorted teenager. Isabel didn't know how to release her depression. She also did not know how to feel the loneliness inside, so she finally chose to go down this path. Because she was young and beautiful, Isabel successfully found a boyfriend, Felix. The first night they confirmed their relationship, Isabel put on beautiful makeup. She sneaks out to meet Felix under the cover of her brother. Trying to fill her loneliness with love, Isabel tries to immerse herself in her relationship with Felix. They enjoy the gentle sea breeze and shy love on the beach. But Felix, who is always thinking with his penis, compels Isabel to lose her virginity on the beach. Isabel, who wants to pursue love, loses all interest in love. This lack of care of young girls completely began to give up on themselves, and Felix soon becomes Isabel's passing guest. Not long after that, Isabel celebrates her 17th birthday. She spent her birthday party pretending to be happy, accompanied by her family. Her every smile was just a way to meet the enthusiasm of the people around her. Of course, no one understood Isabel's emptiness and loneliness. Soon after, her parents took her away from the city where she grew up. Isabel thought she was just a piece of luggage her mother and stepfather were carrying around. With no hope in her life, she was at a loss. She unknowingly chose to indulge in a bottomless search for excitement. That's what led her into the dark corridors of the hotel and received her first gray-haired guest. Unable to find a home for her soul, she no longer cared about the hell her body would be in. She hid the money she earned in the closet because she didn't know where to spend it. This excitement gives Isabel a brief moment of pleasure. Isabel put her seductive photos on social media sites, and in doing so, attracts more customers. Isabel was certainly a good kid to her parents. She can talk about her big dreams in class like everyone else, but the rhetoric wasn't enough to cover up her low self-esteem and loneliness. After school, Isabel gets another text from a client. She returned home and secretly took her mother's shirt and changes in a public restroom near the hotel. She goes from being a student to a glamorous and sexy woman. She's got the temperament to make a million men fall for her. She meets a middle-aged man in a cafe. They chatted briefly about the type of service and the price of the service. Then she followed him into the small elevator. But this sick man has no morals. He insulted Isabel and underpaid her at the checkout. Isabel fought back her chairs on the subway. This also made her wary of being cheated. From then on, all her services were paid for and experienced later. Her mother and stepfather brought her to the theater for a concert. Here she met Roger. When Roger saw Isabel, he took the woman with him. But something even more unfortunate is seen by Isabel. She saw her mother and her uncle physically touching each other at the staircase. This gave Isabel a stronger sense of revenge. This revenge can only be an endless torture for herself. Before the concert started, Isabel received a text message from Roger saying she was going on a date tomorrow. She went to the same hotel as last time, the same costume, the same eerie hallway, the same room, the same path of sin. This time Roger learns about Isabel's family. He took pity on the beautiful Isabel, so Roger not only gives Isabel an extra 100 euros, he even falls in love with this girl, who has a family but is more homeless than homeless. Isabel spoils herself even more in the following days. Roger became her regular customer. It seems that Roger has become her most understanding friend. Unfortunately, something unfortunate and terrible happened. Roger's excitement triggered a myocardial infarction. He lost his breath instantly. Isabel was desperate. She shook Roger violently, but Roger ended his life in a state of extreme joy and excitement. Isabel's nervousness and fear prompted her to flee the hotel. Within days, the police found Isabel's mother, Sylvie, and told her everything about Isabel. Sylvie also found Isabel's social media details on her computer. Sylvie also found all the money Isabel had secretly saved in her closet. This made Sylvie carefully accept the fact that her daughter was a call girl. After Isabel came home from school, Sylvie suppressed her anger and wanted to talk with her daughter. But in the end, Sylvie couldn't control her emotions and hit Isabel. Isabel just curled up on the couch without saying a word. When Sylvie calmed down, she really felt for Isabel. But mother and daughter could only hug each other and let out their pain for the fact that they could not change. Walker's death became another shadow that Isabel couldn't let go. It made her pause in the act of spoiling herself. The police could only take a detailed statement from Isabel, who was a minor. Isabel also unreservedly revealed the reasons for her step-by-step descent into the abyss and her twisted state of mind. Sylvie decided to take good care of Isabel from now on. But when she offered to donate all of Isabel's hard-earned money, Isabel couldn't accept it and turned away from the table in order to adjust to Isabel's dual personality. Sylvie took her to a well-known psychiatrist. After a few weeks of rehab, Isabel's mindset did not change significantly. Sylvie could only communicate with Isabel patiently every day and hoped to bring her back to normal as soon as possible. But all Isabel could say to her mother was hateful and vicious. Sylvie slapped Isabel in the face when she couldn't stand it anymore. Isabel was so angry that she revealed Sylvie's adulterous affair with her sister-in-law. Sylvie had to leave the room with guilt and pain. A few months passed by. Isabel and her friends went to the bar where they had a class reunion. Hormonal teenage boys and girls are more likely to fall in love under the stimulation of flashing lights and the numbing effects of alcohol. Isabel met the honest Alex at the party. This makes Isabel want to try again, to have a more caring and loving relationship. She gives herself and Alex the chance to get to know each other. Isabel is pulled onto the dance floor by her friends. She twists and turns her body with abandon. The stirring music may fill the void in her heart for a while. After the dance, they kissed on the bridge with the locks of love. Alex offers to let Isabel follow him home, but Isabel refuses. She seems to understand that true love should be able to withstand the weight. It was the following summer. Isabel broke up with Alex, even though she and Alex were able to get along peacefully. But Isabel had always had doubts about her feelings. This made her not have the courage to really face the relationship. Isabel couldn't overcome her weak and longing heart. She accidentally found the long-lost cell phone card again. As soon as she opened it, she received hundreds of date messages. Finally, she chose to step into the somewhat familiar hotel again. But this time, she didn't get all dressed up. She did not go straight to the horrible corridor. Instead, she met a gray-haired old woman. Alice is Ruger's wife. Alice just wanted to see the last woman her husband had seen before he died. She didn't blame the young Isabel. She had also met Ruger when she was 17 and fell madly in love. She eventually took Isabel to the room where she and Ruger were dating. Here Alice tells Isabel a lot of stories. She even hoped that Isabel would truly awaken and live a good life. Soothed by Alice, Isabel falls asleep until she suddenly woke up and found Alice had left. Maybe in the future Isabel will be able to overcome her inner fear and vulnerability and truly walk towards a better life for herself. Not many people can understand how Isabel, as a young girl, could go to the depths of sin. Not many people understand why children growing up in broken families are so rebellious. And no one understands why left-behind children develop bigotry. Parents always give all they have to their children, but how many parents really think about what their children want or what they really need? In the process of growing up, they are not in the same materialistic environment as us adults. What they want more than anything else is perhaps a complete and happy family. Maybe they need the kind of companionship and love they need when they grow up, not just the kind of parents who pay on time every month but don't care about them.